diamond or is it windmill? What do we say?
You know, we always talk about when did it become two streets and why can't they just settle on one street name? But anyway, we are at Steiner's, a Nevada-style pub, not Nevada, Nevada-style pub. We've got mementos all over the wall here. There's three locations of Steiner's around Las Vegas, and we're proud to be here with our friend Roger. He's invited us, and we want to talk about it was the 15th annual baseball party bus trip coming from Steiner's, and it's going to be the Dodgers playing the Astros, world champion Astros. That's going to be June 24th. One-day party trip. You drink on the bus, you fall out of the bus, you go to the game, you fall back on the bus, you fall back at Steiner's, and you just have a great time.
That's a party.
Yeah, so if you're a baseball fan, that's June 24th, and I think it's starting from Steiner's here. We are at Las Vegas Boulevard and Blue Diamond or Windmill, whichever you choose to call it. There's two other locations. There's the original 8410 West Cheyenne, at North Durango and West Cheyenne, and North Buffalo and West Vegas Drive. Steiner's, a Nevada-style pub. Become known to locals as the place for quality service, delicious food, and unparalleled bar. Unparalleled. I say that every time, and I think of gymnastics. When I said unparalleled bar, I think of a parallel bar. I know. We hope everybody's having a great week, or had a great weekend, great Memorial Day, and if you're a Knights fan, we know that you had celebrating and partying, especially if you bet on sports wagering like I do, you're going to be pretty happy. There's lots of high-definition televisions all over here. Sharing is caring, so if you want to push the share button on our live broadcast and share it with your friends, we invite you every Tuesday at 2 o'clock to come and visit with us at Steiner's. Owner Roger Sachs brings forth his 30-plus years of hospitality experience, welcoming both local and visiting guests. One of the three beautiful locations we talked about. All kinds of happy hour specials. I forgot what the time on the happy hour, and my notes are all over the place.
Oh, they have some great specials.
Yeah.
Video poker. I see someone just hit the Roy.
Did they really?
Probably within the last 10 minutes.
Everyday graveyard. And I'm going to ask Roger to change the name. Graveyard doesn't sound very inviting. 1 a.m. through 7 a.m. food specials, jackpot specials, 1 a.m. also to 9 a.m. Top players receive up to $100 per day in match-free play. Nobody gives players more than Steiner's Pub. Again, that's our shameless plug for Steiner's Pub, and thank you, Roger Sachs, for hosting us week after week, and we want to take advantage of the baseball trip. That is coming up June 24th. Anything you want to add? You almost missed the opening. You were like, well, let's start introducing our guest. We're thrilled to have our friend Tony Abogado here. And whenever Tony's here, that's when we start the show drinking. And this is a drinking show, so Tony, thanks for joining us. And we've got a theme today because our other guest, Patricia Alcade, and how do you pronounce her last name? Do I get it right? Is Alcade? Alcade. And everybody knows our Neon Feast restaurant journalist, Al Mancini, back from New Jersey where he didn't get whacked.
I didn't get whacked.
We're going to start with Tony. Now, your event, the last time I stupidly asked what does TAG stand for, the Tag Spirit Awards, which of course stand for your name. So, in keeping with the theme of, Patricia has a wonderful event coming up in a couple of weeks that we're going to get into. I always mess it up, so say what the event is. Senors and senores, you say it.
Señores of Excellence, Señores of Distinction Awards Gala. It's our 16th.
And it's about education, so we want to...
All about education, because education matters.
Education does matter.
What number is this?
That's the 16th annual.
16.
Yeah. So, Tom, you're probably going to have to get closer to get audio. I'm just going out on a limb here because I know it. So, Tony's going to start us with something in keeping with the theme of Spanish and Spain. And
Exactly.
What do you got? What do you got, pal?
When you said Spanish, I said, does Peru count? And you said, absolutely, Peru counts. So I wanted to do the national drink of Peru, the Pisco Sour, which coincidentally, very interesting to know, it was an American who was in Peru who started the Morris Bar in the early 20th century. 1903 they opened. Ran out of whiskey to make whiskey sour, so he used the local spirit, which is Pisco. And Pisco is a lovely, lovely distillate. It's a brandy, unaged, very regulated, distilled to proof. You can't add anything. You don't put it in barrels. Use 8 different aromatic and non-aromatic grapes. You need to use a blend or puros, and this is a drink. I call it. It's like drinking a pillow. It's just so lovely.
So Pisco, it's not a brand, it's a category.
It's a category of brandy. Yeah. So unaged brandy. It's the Moscato grape. There's 8 different varieties of that grape. 4 aromatic, 4 non-aromatic. We have from the TAG Global Spirits Awards this year's Best in Show Pisco. This is the Corntel grape. It's aromatic grape, and it's so lovely. And my mom, God rest her soul, she was a big woman but a great cook. She always said, Tony, never trust the skinny chef. You gotta taste everything.
You know, when I met Paul Prudhomme, I said the same thing, man.
So I don't know how familiar you are with Pisco, but here is the Pisco. It's just.
You know, I was talking to our mutual friend Stephanie Scott last night and told her that we were going to be here. And Stephanie said this was close to LeBlanc that we used to work with. We're making caipirinha. So
That's, when we were staying in that Spanish vibe, now we're in Brazil, and you're talking about sugar cane distillate as opposed to a grape distillate. So where this is a brandy, that's more like a rum. Pisco Sour starts with egg white, and whenever you use an egg white, Jonathan, I know you know this, you always want to start with the egg white, just in case we make a mistake. I thought I made a mistake once, but I was mistaken.
anybody else want to taste it raw?
Isn't it lovely? Yeah. And you can drink it just like that on its own. There's a host of different cocktails. But this follows the basic sour recipe. So 1 part sweet, 1 part sour. So we're going to hand extract fresh lime juice. And we're doing that with the modern mixologist lime juicer.
And that's a good time for me to hold up the book, Tom. Tony's also an author like Tom White. Except this is non-fiction. Unless you drink enough of it. If you drink enough of it, it becomes fiction. The Modern Mixologist, and Tony's website also is modernmixologist.com. And on the website, you can also purchase margaritas.
Yeah, like the handheld lime squeezer, which I love because it's ergonomically designed for guys like you who have big hands, but more petite hands as well. You can still get the full extraction. Limes are the most fragile of all citrus. They'll start to oxidize in about 20 minutes after you squeeze the juice, which is why I always, every program, T-Mobile Arena, Allegiant, I do the drinks there. 7,000 to 9,000 margaritas on a game day at Allegiant. Every one. That lime squeezer squeezing for.
All right, let's talk to our panel and see who wants to guess how much this baby cost. I'm going to say $29.95.
That's where I was going. I was $29.95.
Patricia.
Well, I purchased mine in Dublin. And it was
Melissa, your guess.
Well, I thought the inexpensive one from the dollar store. I want this.
So how much do you guess this one?
Yeah.
I'm hoping you know.
I know.
Well, I would pay $29.95.
$29.95?
Yeah, so tell me.
You're right there at $30. So
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
since you have the one from the dollar store, now you've got the $29.95.
Everybody's a winner on Vegas Nonstop coming in Tuesday at 2 p.m. from Steiner's. Okay, so we squeezed the lime, we tasted
the lime,
Pisco.
tasted the Pisco. Now we have to balance that lime. Simple syrup, and Jonathan, you know why it's called simple syrup?
Because it's simple.
It's so simple to make. It's just equal parts sugar and water. Bring the water to a boil, dissolve the sugar, let it cool, bottle it, and it'll last for months.
I was talking with you earlier about Brown Foreman, and a shout out to my friend, our friend Tim Laird, who was the spokesperson for years and years at Brown Foreman. And he was the first one to introduce me to simple syrup. He uses it in a lot. So many different mixes use simple syrup.
Well, the beautiful thing about simple syrup is it's consistent every time. When you make like an old-fashioned and you use granulated sugar or sugar cubes, granulated sugar doesn't dissolve well in alcohol or cold. So you always end up with granulated sugar at the bottom of the drink. Sweetness is never consistent. With a syrup that's 1-to-1, same every time, and it adds texture and volume to the drink. So I'm a big fan of using simple syrup in lieu of using. Whoa!
And I'm a big fan of volume. I'm a big fan of volume here. We had some volume there with a band. Emerald. I love that you said that, I always trusted the big fat chefs. Chefs should be big.
I need some help. Wait, you want me to
Well, shake it up, baby. Now shake it up, baby. Twist it. Yeah, that's it. Your neon piece.
I'm not gonna pop that seal. All right, I can't do that.
And you thought this wasn't going to be fun today. And then he get here, we start the show with alcohol and drinking. It's going to
It's
be
a party,
All right.
especially when I'm the winner.
And then you just out of these beautiful coops that are really the best class for sours. And with the egg white that we added originally does is it adds that beautiful frothy texture.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So when you're making sour with egg white, aren't you supposed to do a dry shake first? Somebody taught me that once.
That is a great
a
question.
dry what?
A dry shake.
Dry shake without the egg.
Without the ice.
So dry shake, exactly what Al just said, means that you shake the drink before you ice it, and then you add ice and shake it again. Which, when you're making a few hundred in a night, that's a lot of extra shakes.
Yeah, for
But
7,000
it came out beautifully without you doing a dry shake. So I'm thinking I can cut a corner here.
Well, the corner needs to be cut on the ice. So if you have good quality ice, hard, big, dry ice, that will aerate the drink. That will, same thing as basically dry shaking will do. I've never believed in dry shaking myself, but I see why people...
Well, I'm older than you are.
What are your thoughts on the dry shake?
I prefer the wet one myself.
The wet
Oh, shake it up, baby.
Yeah.
These are the traditional bitters from Peru. I haven't opened this bottle. It's the only one I have. I think it's brought it back from Peru. So in lieu of being able to get the Peruvian bitters, we're just going to use Angostura, which bitters, as you know, are like the salt and pepper of drink making. They just add another layer of complexity and make the drink more interesting. Here we get the aromatics right off the nose, and where that nice froth that I was talking about gives us a platform. Now, we taste drinks like we do food with all our senses. So visually, just taking a pick on each of those dots just gives makes it into a little bit of a heart.
What makes up the bitters?
Bitters are a secret recipe of barks and herbs or spices based on alcohol.
Oh, I didn't know it was a secret. Okay.
And, I've been in the store several times. I've been in the room where they store all the barks and herbs. They will not tell you what goes in. But yeah.
The first time I had bitters was in the Manhattan.
Yeah, and every Manhattan should.
They don't.
They don't. No, because bartenders get lazy. It's like, how much more work is it to add a couple dashes of bitters? But yeah, you taste the Manhattan with and without bitters, you'll swear the one with the bitters, more interesting. A little more going on.
Well, we like to start the show with a toast. And Melissa taught us a toast that I like to adapt. May only pain you feeling right. Champagne.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. Happiness, everyone.
Cheers. Cheers. How is it, gentlemen?
I'm going to pass it around. It's just perfect.
I
Yeah.
gotta back up and kiss myself. That's so good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Isn't that wonderful?
Now, you mentioned Peru, and Melissa and I go, there's only one place we go, it's called Peruvian Chicken.
Oh, I know that place.
On
Yes.
East Tropicana. And so many times we go there, and they're out of chicken. That's the only thing you do is go Peruvian chicken, and you're out of chicken. We travel to their other location just to get the Peruvian chicken.
Oh, yeah, I'll drive 20 minutes.
Well, again, this Pisco, Jonathan, won Best of Show at the 2023 TAG Awards, which just ended up in February. We're already gearing up for the 24th TAG Global Spirits Awards, held here in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay at the Delano. So we're opening up for early entries August 1st. So if you know any spirit producers, anybody out there making great products, have them take advantage of the early bird special, August 1. More information at TAG Global Spirits
Yeah,
Awards.
I want to talk about it a little bit more, because we're going to talk about TAG Global Spirits Awards, created by world-renowned mixologist TAG, U.S. industry veteran David Gropsey, who I just met, right? That's David. And American Ambassador of Mexico's National Chamber for the Tequila Industry, Julio Bermejo.
Yep.
Perfect. I said it wrong. Early bird submissions, as Tony mentioned, open August 1st for spirits brands and ready-to-drink brands. Ready-to-drink, it's like martini in a can kind of thing.
It is exploding, Jonathan. I mean, that category, I thought would fizzle out after COVID. Ready to drinks because people can't make a drink like this, so they're not comfortable shaking free ingredients. It blows my mind. I mean, now there are more RTDs, ready to drink cocktails on the market than I've ever seen. RTDs, ready to drink. Yeah.
Spirit-based and wine-based RTD beverages. So you got wine in a can.
You got wine in a can, wine drink, cocktails, and non-alcoholic RTDs. Which I'm like, what is the difference between that and like a fruit punch? And the ones I tasted, most of them are not very good. I'm just curious, who's drinking this stuff? I don't know.
On the airline, while I'm on a flight.
Or at the pool. Probably at the pools here in Las Vegas.
Pump can.
I just tasted the ones J-Lo is doing, which kind of pisses me off because I don't think J-Lo really even drinks. But
How could she not?
that's what I've been told. I shouldn't quote that.
But you talk about the non-alcoholic drinks. I'm curious, how big of a market has that become? Because this sober curious market, this idea, a lot of people that are only smoking weed to get high, then they want to still have something and they go out with their friends. Whatever the reasons, they seem to be exploding. Now, I'm on a doctor's order, messed up with liver thing, so I love it. But who else is drinking this?
No, I agree with you. I mean, it's blown up, those non-alcoholic spirits, and some of them are really good. Like some of the spirits from Myers, fantastic. I mean, it's almost worth the $35 they're charging for a bottle of non-alcoholic spirit. A lot of them that I've tasted are like shoe polish. I mean, it's just, and I'm wondering why. But no, you're absolutely right.
But non-alcoholic mocktails, see, I don't want people putting a fake spirit in my mocktail.
Okay.
I want them just to create something that has the complexity, that's interesting enough, that's sippable while I'm out with a bunch of friends who are drinking. That's what I'm interested in myself.
So more than just a glass of juice, you want?
Yeah, more than just this.
Espresso martini.
Oh, they're there. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you on the beers. Myers also does a sparkling wine that you taste it. You swear you were drinking a sparkling wine. It's really lovely. But like I
Now,
said,
did you have enough to make another one of those?
another one of these.
I want to talk more about the awards for it. I'll have yours, man.
Yeah, mine.
Great endorsement. So you have a highly regarded judging panel. If we can, let's talk a little bit about the panel and how people, what the award means in different categories in the awards.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, our goal was to make it a global panel. We brought here people from 4 different continents as judges, respected professionals with great palates. Dale DeGroff has been there from the beginning. Bridget Albert, Charlotte Boyce, we love from Hendricks Gin. She's a judge. Lynette House from Heaven Hill. She's just a fantastic palate. Because really, you want to put these spirits in front of the palates that are going to give you honest feedback. And one of the things that we do is we take notes. So when someone asks, why did I get a gold medal or why did I get a silver medal, we can go back and look at the judge's notes and give them a reason. Because so often people get very attached to what they're putting in their bottle. And they kind of lose focus. Because you're not going to put out anything that you don't think is fantastic. Maybe other people who have pretty good palates might not think it's as fantastic. So we really have a global panel to attract global submissions.
And what this does for the brand is then it'll increase their marketability because they perceive it.
Especially with some smaller brands that I just had the guy that owns the flavored rum call me the other day. They're over the moon that they got the best to show flavored rum. So we really want to use this as a marketing vehicle to draw attention to our small brand.
The cherry ones and another one pineapple rum.
I gotta talk about my favorite rum. It's the Havana Club. The real Havana Club. If anybody really wants to, Havana Club, baby.
All right. Well, next time on the show, I'll bring you a couple bottles.
Oh man, yeah, I love that. So let's talk about your philanthropic event. I know that means something to you. It's the Pink Tie Party benefiting the Helen David Relief Fund, which assists those in the bar industry fighting breast and other forms of cancer. That's something that was close to you and close to my family as well. My sister had a double mastectomy 15 years ago, was cancer-free up until last month. So they found it again. She's doing natural herbs and stuff to reduce the cancer. But let's talk about the charity.
Thank you very much. Charity started in 2010. As I said, to benefit bartenders and the family. Initially, it was breast cancer, focused on breast cancer because Helen, my cousin, who taught me to be a bartender, who opened a bar with her mother in 1937, ran that bar for nearly 70 years until her death at 91 in 2006, survived breast cancer twice. So in her memory, I wanted to start something to give back. So it's bartenders helping bartenders. Every dime we raise goes right back into the bartending community. And the Pink Tie Party is the rap party for the Tag Gold Sports Awards. And for all our supplier partners have booths, we feature a lot of the local bartenders here from Las Vegas, crafting drinks with their spirits. And like I said, all the proceeds from that night go right back to the Blue David. And last year, I'm proud to say we raised $50,000.
Oh, that's great. Now it's a 3-day or 4-day event.
4-day event all over.
And it's in October?
October's Breast Cancer Awareness.
Yeah.
We do our Team Happiness Bicycle Rides.
Okay.
Which is the way that we encourage bartenders to get on bikes, take better care of themselves, while they're raising money for their fellow bartenders through their efforts, through the fundraising, for the bicycle ride.
Well, when are the awards?
The awards will be in March. So the first weekend, hopefully we'll be back. We'll bring some Havana Club.
Oh, baby.
Some
And we should also mention that Tony is also one of the proprietors of Libertine Social over at Mandalay Bay. And it's been a couple of years now that we've been open to survive the pandemic. Great place to go if you're in Mandalay Bay or near Mandalay Bay. The name of the book, I'm going to hold up the book one more time, is Modern Mixologist. And as always, we appreciate your time, your effort, being here, getting us a little loopy on a Tuesday afternoon. And what, again, this is called?
That's a Pisco Sour.
A Pisco Sour. Thank you, my friend Tony Advocato. Thanks, brother.
And thank you.
Well, listen, I'm going to pass it over to you to start introducing Patricia and talk about Patricia's event. And I'm going to help Tony get out of here.
Okay. Well, we've got gorgeous Patricia here. Patricia. And it is June 17th. Saturday, June 17th. One day before Father's Day. Oh my gosh. What time is it at? It starts at 6:30 with red carpet. Okay, red carpet. But first, I have to know what
You're going to have to talk loud. I know that.
My dress, I wanted to be more summery or something else.
Okay. Okay, trying on dresses is probably good.
I was lavender and I was green and I was this and that, but the one that fitted better was the black one.
Oh my gosh, well, always the most incredible event. We love to attend. And you have, the governor is there. Is the governor going to be there?
Yeah, he's gonna be one señor of Precision.
Oh,
Besides being there, and he's part of the board, the chair, so official every governor is. Now he's getting awarded as a señor of distinction.
of distinction, and then you have the señores of excellence, which is the name of the event. It is such a beautiful event. And for 16 years, I didn't realize it was so. Before the pandemic, you were in the spring, and then after the pandemic, in the fall. So are you going to stay in the spring? Or now we're in summer?
Right, now the thing is that it used to be in May for years.
Okay.
But then with the pandemic or something, when we were trying to do it in the Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes.
So it was like covering two things, and it was
Yes.
very interesting. But now we say, okay, let's see the summer.
So this is
And I think it's very nice because it's a nice weather, it's a nice month. It's very summery, very festive. So
it's
I think it's
incredible.
gonna work well.
Oh, it's definitely worth attending. So now, what is the amount that you're looking to raise this year?
It changes because we have very good sponsors, fantastic like CSARs, partners, and many very good sponsors that are donating like
Okay.
$15,000, $20,000 each, but we have some others for $5,000, $10,000.
Oh,
Plus
wonderful.
the selling of the tickets, the tables.
Okay, so you can buy a whole table. Are there tables still available?
Yeah, there was we still have a few, but we have like 80%, 85% sold, but we always have. And many people say, okay, I can do it here, or I'm in town or something, but they have followed us for different years or something, or it's too much for them, or like the whole two tickets is $1,000.
Okay, yes.
That they want to donate from $50 to $100. Oh, so they can do it, even if they don't have it. You know, some of them can even go very nice. Besides, we have a great function.
Oh, yeah. Incredible. What are some of the things you have?
Well, we have 3 drinks.
Wow.
Hawaii, Taco in Mexico, Punta Cana, Republic, the Dominican Republic.
The Dominican Republic, that would be. I could get a team in your
Yeah, remember that last year we auctioned and got a Montana.
Yes, yes.
She went for 75.
Yes. Yes.
So now we have another puppy.
Another copy.
It's a baby girl. Yes. I can't tell you too much. I just saw a photo. It's adorable.
Oh my.
Yes. So it's
So,
beautiful.
so cute. I know. I told Jocelyn we needed that puppy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we're not going to get it. Yeah.
Maybe.
I know.
No dogs, no cats, no birds, no monkeys,
So
nothing.
usually, how many students are you going to be able to scholarship?
We could go 6 grade. Not as many, even more.
Okay.
We have, as long as right now, they're going to be there at the event, participating as ambassadors of the Señoras Profesores, and they always participate with us, and they're very important part of our team. Six students that have also some, sure, that they have some work or something to do with the Latin Chamber of Commerce, which we are really funding the Latin Chamber of Commerce Foundation Fund. So we're related, and I know that besides that, the Latin Chamber of Commerce has our 6 ambassadors helping us with the event and participating and everything. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Now, Patricia, if I may, what I'd like to do is hear more about the education and the background. It started with Sandy Pelton. Did I say her last name right? Sandy Pelton, who really it honors Sandy with the educational. There's scholarships that are given out, right?
Yeah, exactly. All this thing is to raise funds, to give scholarships to kids that finish in high school they can. And we have concentrated joining forces with the Latin Chamber of Commerce so they can handle the whole thing under the program.
What's the gentleman's name who runs the Latin Chamber?
Peter Wisman.
Peter, who is well respected in the community.
Fabulous. He works so hard and he has done so much for the library for the kids.
Well, last year we sat with our friend Chris Roman, who's another
Oh, I know.
great guy in the community.
We're surrounded with so beautiful and valuable, really great people. And our leader and higher friend, Sandy,
Right.
she created a foundation of excellence, the Señoras of Excellence Years of Distinction Awards Gala.
I know you're going to have to be louder. I just know that.
Okay.
Just start right into the camera.
Yeah. She created this as a means of raising funds for award scholarships to dedicated students in South Carolina. And our mission, Sandy's team, which I'm very proud to be part of that, Sandy's team,
Sandy's team.
Yeah. Our mission is to continue her legacy by bringing together community-minded and motivated individuals to participate in charitable events that provide educational, scholarships, and serving the Nevada high school. So they have a proven track record of academic achievement with benefit students who might otherwise lack the financial resources to pursue the college admission.
Well, it's
I read
just
this
a
because I
great.
didn't want to miss anything.
No, it's okay. I don't mind reading. I read all the time. In fact, if people want more information about it, they can go to www.Sandy Pelton Foundation, and I'm going to spell it Sandy, S-A-N-D-Y, like my mom's name, Pelton, P-E-L-T-Y-N Foundation.org. Or you can call Linda Esposito at 780-286-9842. That's 702-286-9842. Tickets are available. The event is going to be June 17th, so it's coming up.
The Westgate.
At the Westgate, one of my favorite properties in Las Vegas. I started at the Westgate.
We're going to have fabulous entertainment. We're going to have music, dancers, shows.
The pre-show is great.
Oh, it's going to
You've
be
got costumes and mariachis.
Oh, and the cigar roller. Yeah, the cigar roller last year. Oh,
Well, it's a wonderful tribute.
and a lot of surprises.
And a lot of what?
A lot of surprises.
Your prizes.
Surprises.
Oh, great.
Surprise.
And auction, yeah.
And the auction. Continue to. You were saying something about it.
Well, I just wanted to know more. I want our viewers to know more about Sandy and who she was.
Well, she was a lady from Puerto Rican origin. That she was an institution in Las Vegas. She was known by everybody who somebody in Las Vegas. She was a great philanthropist. She worked in marketing. She was the widow for Roger Delphi, one of the designers of just like the Bahamas and Martins. Back on, she always was trying to get all of the opportunity with the Latin. I'm very worried about education. So that's why 6 years ago she created this foundation to start making a way to the community organization.
Now, just a little bit about you. I know that you started, and I consider you a journalist, right?
I'm a journalist, a writer, columnist, public relations.
But we haven't talked for a while, so what's new?
Well, I have a very nice project that is just kicking off. That I'm going to start my own radio show this month.
Whoa!
Yes. And I'm writing for a magazine. I have some columns. I'm very nice.
Talk into the camera and talk about your radio show.
And the radio show is going to be with the La Voz de Nevada group. They invited me to participate.
Is that over the air or is it a podcast?
14:16 a.m.
Okay.
And
When are you going to be on? Do you have a time yet?
uh,
Saturdays, you don't know yet?
no, it's Wednesdays, 8:30 to 9:30, 1 hour.
In the morning.
For me, it's very bad. Go ahead.
I was going to say, that's why I never did morning drive. I'm not funny till 1:15.
Yes, and it's going to be a little about everything, a little bit of everything. Like shows, interviewing entertainers, about this, whatever is going on in Las Vegas. I want to do not parties, not.
You know what that's called? It's called an around town show.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. We're an around town show. We talk about what's going on around town.
Out there, there's not even specific, it's just to have fun and enjoy. And,
Yeah.
and then people know what they're missing if they don't check it out. How many wonderful things we have in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Well, once again, the event is June 17th, Saturday, June 17th at the Westgate. Tickets are available. You can go to the Sandy Pelton Foundation.org. If you need more information. I'm sure the Latin Chamber probably has it on their website as well.
Yes, we do have on the telephone 702-286-9842. She's very nice and
Felicia LK.
Okay, like Sunday.
LK. So in keeping with the theme, we're going to move over now to our friend Al Mancini to talk about tapas, Spanish restaurants, Mexican restaurants. What do you got?
Okay, well, you asked me to talk about Spanish restaurants and tapas. Very, very different than when you start going down to South American, Central American, Caribbean restaurants. But I can tell you about those. We got Neon Feast. That's my app. We cover just about every type of food in Las Vegas, places that are recommended by experts. So Spanish, if you want to go straight up Spanish, right? That was your first.
Straight up, brother, because Patricia's here. We're going to talk about Spanish food.
So food from Spain. Well, first thing I got to say is we're having a rough time right now. We're losing a couple of my favorite places. Valencia and Gold shut down. They were supposed to be reopening this year. Haven't done it yet. We had Hamon, which closed on Sahara. We're supposed to be going over to Henderson. Hasn't happened yet. So a little bit of a tough time right now for Spanish. But we still have some great places on the Strip and off the Strip. So where do you want to start? On or off?
Let's start off. People are more interested in, at least the locals that watch us on Vegas Night stuff. Again, we're coming to you from Steiner's, a Nevada style pub, Las Vegas Boulevard and Windmill or Blue Diamond, depending on which direction you're coming from. So, what do you got?
So, go to the Neon Feast list. We have them all right here for you. Neon Feast, neonfeast.com. Download the app. But I'll talk you through a few of them. Number one, best tapas in Spanish, off strip by far, EDO tapas on Spring Mountain Road. Don't say Edo. People do. They'll know what you're talking about. But EDO actually stands for extra day off.
Oh, really?
So, industry term, right? So, look, this is a fantastic restaurant. One of the best chefs in Las Vegas. You can do amazingly.
What's his name?
Oscar Amigo, Chef Oscar Amigo, right? And he's also at Anima by EDO. So he has two restaurants. So we have,
I thought it was called Enema.
no, you can do that if you like, but that's a whole
I
other.
thought it was animated. I thought it was
entertainment.
animated. Like animated, like the Japanese thing.
It is Anima, like to be animated, the course
Oh,
of
what?
life. That's where they take it from.
Okay.
It's Anima by EDO. So the original EDO, pure Spanish tapas, great price tasting menus. I think it's maybe $80 for 6 or 7 courses. Also, if you have plant-based friends, the chef there loves to do vegan-friendly meals. You can do a vegan version of the tasting menu. All my vegan friends love it there. But of course, you go for the jamons, the hams, you go for the cheeses, the croquetas, you go for the meats, you go for the cheeses. Most of us do anyway.
If you're a Las Vegan and you're a vegan, are you a vegan?
You're a vegan, or a Las Vegan. So you get it straight up Spanish when you go to the original EDO. If you go over to Anima, they have Spanish mixed with Italian. But you can also get Spanish there. So those are two of the big ones off strip. The other one that I would point you to off strip, I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody.
So if people don't know what tapas are, it's really just small plates.
Tapas means small plates. Basically, you know how when you come to a bar like Steiner's here in Las Vegas, and you're going to have people drinking, some states or some countries require you to have food. So you don't get too wasted, right?
Yeah.
In Spain, you have to have tapas. If you are going bar hopping in Spain, every restaurant will have its own little tapas. Usually a free snack, traditionally. But then people started going just for the food, they started raising the prices, and tapas itself became a form of shareable food.
Okay.
Things that are very, very small plates that you have while you're drinking. In America, we love to do it. Now we call everything tapas. People talk about Japanese tapas. That just means small Japanese plates. It's not tapas, but that's okay. We live, it's mix and match cultures here.
That's it.
Tapas is going to be any of your small plates coming from a Spanish restaurant. We have Ada's, which used to be Ada's Tapas or Ada's Wine Bar in Tivoli Village. They just changed the name to Ada's Food and Wine. They're expanding beyond just wine and small plates. So it's not as exclusively tapas right now, but in my opinion, one of the best restaurants in Las
We
Vegas.
just went, and they have something called Sam Sunday.
Yes, on
Like
Sunday.
once a month.
They had the chef from Wolfgang Cut in Beverly Hills, who's just there this most recent
We
Sunday.
went there with our friend Big Bob Prince and Bordeaux Bob.
Yeah.
And he was the guest winer, if you will.
Right. So they're moving a little away from being pure tapas into wider variety, but you can still get great tapas
The
there.
food was great.
Food is fantastic. That's a James Trees restaurant, one of the biggest chefs in Las Vegas.
It's
That-
big. It's a big chef. And we look for that with a chef. Somebody that likes to eat.
Yes. Well, anyway, this is James's most experimental restaurant. It's his most foodie-centric
You want to hear
restaurant.
the dummy question that we asked James Street?
What'd you ask, James?
I think you were there. It was your event.
Oh,
Yeah, it was your event.
Yeah.
Hey, Melissa, if we were talking to the chef, we're going to ask the question that the guy used to do on Actors Studio. Jim Lipton would say, if you were a tree, what kind of a tree would you
That was
be?
a Barbara Walters question.
He said I would be a James tree.
Ah, there you go. He has trees in his name. It works.
Yeah.
And look, man, if we're going to talk about off-strip tapas in Las Vegas, you can't ignore Firefly. Firefly is the OG, the Mac Daddy, been doing it before anybody else. They brought John Simmons brought tapas to Las Vegas. He's had many locations over the
And
years.
some setbacks.
And a few setbacks, a few very public setbacks. But you know what? He bounced back.
He was the
picked
first one, I think, in
himself up.
town that was having the dates with the bacon.
Oh, yes.
I always love those dates with the bacon.
Bacon wrap dates, usually stuffed with an almond or something in there too.
Yeah, great.
Fantastic. So there's still two
But
Fireflies
he's not on the strip.
operating.
He's not
No, I'm saying off the strip.
We're
We
still on
still
the-
have two Fireflies. I mean, look, there wouldn't be tapas in Las Vegas if it wasn't for John Simmons and Firefly. So give respect, John. Respect, man. Definitely, always have a great meal when I go there. Now, you want to go onto the strip?
Sure.
I would tell you, look, Jaleo, we might not have tapas in the United States if it wasn't for Jose Andres. I mean, he really brought tapas to the United States. Jaleo was his flagship restaurant. Now it's his flagship brand. There's one in Cosmopolitan, and it is phenomenal. Also, it started off as pure Spanish and tapas. Again, it's expanding a little. The Bar Zazu, which is Nicole Berson's restaurant in Resorts World. Her main restaurant is Brezza. It's Italian. But right next door is Bar Zazu, which does Spanish tapas and a few other great dishes. You definitely want to try that. Nicole Berson's one of our best chefs on the Strip, one of the most influential female chefs in Las Vegas. So you want to try all of her restaurants, both of them at this point. And then finally, Julian Serrano. Julian Serrano was known in Las Vegas because he opened up Picasso in Bellagio. And it is still a phenomenal restaurant. But he also has an Italian place called Lago that's in Bellagio. Then if you go over to Aria, that's where he does the music from, the food from his homeland, which is steak. He is a Spanish-born chef, new Spanish food. He always used to put the touches of Spanish food in when he went to Picasso. But if you want pure Spanish food from him, you go to Julian Serrano. It's spelled like Julian Serrano, but say Julian. He'll respect you more. And
Is he there?
He's there all the time, man.
Oh, really?
All the time. You know, he's one of those chefs that he's not a celebrity chef because you don't see him on TV, which means you get to see him in his restaurants a
that's
lot more
great,
frequently, right? But he's as well known and as beloved as any celebrity chef in Las Vegas.
So now, do you find that the price points are a little better off the strip at the restaurants, or say?
You will always get better pricing off the strip. There's very few instances in which you'll pay, none where you'll pay more. Very few times where a restaurant off the strip costs the same as the equivalent.
And Julian Serrano, are you going to think you broke a window when you get the check, or is it?
No, you're gonna think that if you go to Picasso, absolutely, because that's the fine dining thing. But you can go in there and it's small plates, so you could just get a little bit of the Miracle ham and nothing else, or just some ham and cheese. Just order croquettes by themselves, or you can split a paella, and you can go all in. So a little bit of something for everybody. All of these places are places because they are Spanish, because they like tapas, where you don't have to go in and do a 9-course tasting menu. You can go in and have snacks while you drink.
We talked about Spanish, but what about Mexican restaurants? I deliberately want you to stay away from it because there's just so many.
Yeah.
But if you could pick a couple, what would you?
I mean, on the Strip we have fantastic Mexican. We have Border Grill, which is unbelievable, by Mary Sue and Susan. You have Casa Playa in Wynn, which is a very elevated, upscale version of Mexican beach food, basically. Mexican, beach party kind of cuisine. If you want to go off the Strip, Mexican off the Strip, where would I send you? La Neta. La Neta is definitely one of my favorites. That's in downtown Summerlin. They do a modern, elevated spin on Mexican cuisine. Sure, I'm missing a few. We also have Spanish-speaking countries that are well represented, that are not Mexican, they're not Spanish, but you get Lorena Garcia running Chica with some Mexican food and some South American cuisine. She's also, she's the only female celebrity chef. Not the only. She and the ladies at Border Grill. female celebrity chefs on the strip. So you definitely want to go to Chica and check out what she does. It's also a big party. So you're going to have people dancing, you're going to have Spanish musicians, you're going to have dancing, you're going to have entertainment, and you're going to party late into the night there. The desserts are on fire, it's crazy. Other stuff, you get sushi samba, also in Venetia Palazzo. You get a little taste of sushi with a little taste of South American cuisine in there. So those would be the big ones for the Spanish-speaking countries. And the food that they bring to Las Vegas.
Ladies, you have questions for LMC?
What about China Poblano? Those Chinese, Asian.
China Poblano, or China Poblano, but Chef Jose Andres,
Of course.
as we said, he's a Spanish-born chef. He's trying to, that's a very interesting restaurant because the chef is born in Spain. It is meant, the restaurant is meant to commemorate a time when Spain owned Mexico and they sent galleons to the Philippines to trade spices. When those galleons got to the Philippines, they picked up Chinese spices, they dropped off Mexican spices. The food at China Poblano is half Chinese and half Mexican, and it pays tribute to that very special period in time when the galleons were traveling to Manila.
Okay, you just got put on a pedestal. I did not know that Al was this fabulous with his knowledge.
I try to know some stuff.
Okay,
you know.
Peggy Blair just said she can't hear anything we've said.
Who could?
Peggy Blair. said
Oh,
she can't
Well, it
hear.
got to be Mike.
They can hear you.
Where's the
Any
mic?
questions? Patricia is good.
Yeah, now I'm ready to
I know we have a lot of Mexican restaurants.
Yeah.
Not such as I haven't cooked a Mexican one, so I'm very like I don't think so. But there are so many.
Las
Very
Vegas' best Mexican restaurants off the strip are very frequently the hole-in-the-wall little places that are street tacos, things like that.
I
So
love
this-
El Dorado.
I love
El
it.
Dorado Cantina
Oh
is a
my
fantastic
God,
restaurant.
that
Relocation.
Chile, my God.
Lindo, Michigan.
I am not a fan of the Michigan. It is, okay, the ones that you've mentioned so far, they're all on my app. They were all recommended on Neon Feast by people who are chefs, restaurant owners, professionals in the industry. Lindo Michigan is very popular here in town. I'm not a fan. Apparently nobody else that filled out my survey was that big of a fan. So if you like it, God bless you. Keep enjoying it. It's a Vegas-born chain, and I always love it when local restaurants do well. It's not going to get my recommendation.
Is there a survey on Neon Feast?
No, there's no survey on Neon Feast. We only send out surveys to people that I trust, and I know they know what they're talking about. Neon Feast was designed because I got tired of going on Yelp or these other crowdsourced things and realizing that the people giving the star ratings didn't know I'm going to keep my language clean for you, but didn't know what the F they were talking about, right? So I only send out surveys to people who really know something about food. As a result, we may miss a couple good restaurants, but the ones that are on there, we tell you who recommended them, we tell you why they liked them, and to me, it's the difference between whether you land in Las Vegas and you walk up to the first stranger at the airport and ask him for a restaurant, that's Yelp. If you call your friend who knows what they're talking about, who works in a restaurant, and ask them where to eat, that's Neon Feast.
Now there's I don't know if it's Mexican or Spanish, like a seafood restaurant down on Maryland Parkway that I've heard is supposed to be really great.
There.
Maryland Parkway, across from Sunrise Hospital. It's supposed to be a really good.
I know the area.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know that restaurant off the top of my head.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a
it's right
seafood
there. All right.
Is it-
Mexican restaurant that's supposed to be.
Right behind Las Vegas Country
It may be a location of
Oh
Baja
my-
Mar because there are a couple of Baja Mars, which is a great, also a
No,
Neon
it
Feast.
says
Mexican
something
seafood.
different. It's on the right hand, right there behind.
Karen is now Liberati.
It's by the Guitar Center.
It's by the Guitar Center. Tom,
I know exactly what you're talking
Well,
about.
if you tune in next week, we'll have the answer.
Don't have the name.
Survey for Neon
I
Feast
know
and you
you
can
should.
write it in.
I know.
So
I
download
know.
the app,
I would
Neon
love
Feast. Download the app for Neon Feast. Al, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, wait, I got a present. So,
Okay.
Oh.
there's a game we like to play at Casa di Mancini, which is what weird stuff arrived on Al's doorstep today.
Okay.
Today's what weird stuff arrived on Al's doorstep from the underground at the Mob Museum.
Oh.
Apparently yesterday was Moonshine Day,
We were just-
National Moonshine Day, and I'm bringing you what they sent me, which is
Huckleberry
Huckleberry Hideout
We were
Moonshine.
just
right in
talking
the
about the
mason
Mob
jar.
Museum. We sent
So
our
that's for
friends
you.
there.
Yeah, well, thank you, Al. coming from Chicago,
You know a little something.
I know a little something about the mob.
Yeah.
But I'll be happy to taste this. I'll be toasting you when we have it. And anything else new about Neon Feast you want to give a shout out about? You have another tasting or?
You know, Neon Feast has a lot going on right now. If you're in the Elysian apartment complexes, I'm doing a series where I introduce people at their apartments to the chefs in their neighborhood. We're doing one tomorrow at the one on Fremont Street. Don't have another Meet the Chef event coming up right now, but we're getting one on the calendar soon. Nicole Basone has expressed an interest in doing it from Reza. I know Gio Maro has expressed a little interest in doing it. So from Manzu, we just, I had a rough 6 months. I was sick for 6 months.
Yeah,
I was
you
still
were.
doing that stuff. So I'm trying to bounce back right now. And get
Bouncing
everything going.
back.
Yes.
Patricia's event is going to be Saturday, June 17th at the Westgate Hotel and Resort. Senores of excellence, senores of distinction, or something close to that. I got it right? Woo! I win this, and I win this, and I win it tonight. And I want to thank Roger Sachs for having us here at Steiner's, a Nevada style pub. And if you like old movies like I do, I wanted to invite you to go over to our new website, which is HollywoodClassicMovies.com, and we've got some amazing 12x8 photographs that are free of charge. All you pay is shipping and handling. Marilyn Monroe, Frank Sinatra, James Dean. Go to HollywoodClassicPhotos.com. Of course, I want to thank our guest who had to leave, Tony Avogadam from ModernMixologist.com. And as always, Jonathan Scott reminding you, eat well, party hard, my friends. Thank you, Melissa. That's it. Thank you, Tom White.
Johnny Redford.
Hey.